you are removing the tags, or you're removing the designations from your introduction
Yeah,
now. You are a
yeah.
balanced person. So when you say you're a balanced person, I want to take you a little back to before the balance. The pain, the you said depression, and it was not handleable, or you were not finding some answers. You were pulling yourself. Isn't that what everybody does? But there are sometimes, a lot of times, when you need external help. When you realized that you needed external help, what was the pain going on at that time?
A lot of things. See, I mean, I can talk about myself that there were a lot of things that I was carrying. And what happens, everything gets jumbled up when you do not resolve, when you do not talk to people.
How does it appear in your, sorry to cut you short,
Yeah,
how does
yeah.
it appear when you say jumbled up? You are realizing it's jumbled up. Where, in what areas do you experience this what is called jumbled up experience of yours, or personality of yours?
Everywhere. So my family life was getting really, messed up. I've got a very supporting, loving husband, but there's a point till what point you will keep on
Ignoring.
giving your burden to someone else.
Right.
People also have their life, so you have to stop at a point and then keep things to yourself.
Mm.
While the other person is willing, no doubt about it. So the emotions, and then I started to experience some physical issues, like physical pain also. I never used to. I'm a fairly active person. But then there was a time when I would experience back pain for no reason. Suddenly, my back will just freeze. And again, that was a time when I never knew such a strong body mind connection that, it can impact your thoughts, can impact your body. And I'd been struggling later on when I understood about all of these things. Last 4 years, my pain is gone. There may be other reasons as well. No medical treatment I took.
Right.
Past life and NLP, just working on my thoughts, the pain is not there.
Right.
So it started affecting my health. It's it made me suicidal. It made it started impacting my parenting. See, if
Mm.
I am not as a parent, so parents are supposed to be, there's this image, we need to be calm, we need to be emotionally controlled. But ultimately, if I am also carrying a baggage, then it has to be passed on somewhere. And I realize unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever I was passing it on to my child.
Mm.
I mean, again, I keep on saying I do not regret, because whatever happened, happened. At least I realized it was not too late. So then I worked on it. So I mean, almost all my aspects, I would rather say even my corporate life, if you remember, first time when I did NLP, and there was this exercise that I did of perceptual positioning.
Mm.
And my first thought was, because there was something I was carrying from my corporate life, one of the companies, and one of the experience I was carrying for so many years. And for me, that particular person was a villain. For
Mm.
so many years, I was carrying that. And when I did that, I was like, oh my God, it completely changed my perception. So
Right.
imagine if I was introduced as a professional to such a strong technique like NLP, I would have been a much better
More in
professional,
control.
much,
Mm.
much better leader, I would say, there in the corporate world. So I think every aspect of mine was getting messed up.
Very nice. So when you came into the space of NLP, and when you realized, like you said, you did not even know that there was such a strong body mind connect, and the dis-ease, as I normally end up putting it, the dis-ease of the mind translates into the disease of the body. What was your initial reaction when you came into a space like this, where we were speaking about working on things here and cleansing the space here? We speak of decluttering, and it's so casually said, declutter yourself. But what was your initial reaction when, of course, you mentioned about the perceptual that exercise that we did? Your initial reaction, your first couple of days into the space.
You have to see my video for those. Most of the time, my mouth was, and my expression most of the time was like this only, because everything that was run, it was new, but it was resonating.
Yes.
So a lot of things like I keep on initially I still keep on saying ki we get a lot of gyan. Thanks to WhatsApp, it's overdose of motivational quotes, it's overdose of self, work kind of quotes, etc. So gyan ki kami nahi hai. But it is just that, and people know. It's not that people don't know. So, for example, when I'm saying I was suicidal, wasn't I aware that okay, this is wrong? Of course, I was aware. I was aware when I would just burst into my violent streak. Of course, I was aware that this is wrong. What people
Mm.
need is how to handle these things.
Mm. Right.
And they really do not. So, one is, of course, an external someone telling you, someone guiding you, like a therapist kind of thing. Of course, that is there. But better would be if they are empowered with some practical techniques that they can actually use at in that point of time. So my initial reactions were, how am I not aware of these things till now? I should have been knowing. And I kept on saying, oh, I'm a little late, but it's okay, it's never too late, kind of thing.
And then when you went through that entire series of process, so many times we come to spaces like this. There is a workshop that is conducted. There are 5 days of aha moments and the epiphanies and the promises that we make to ourselves and the resolves. What did you do once you stepped out of the workspace,
See, I have done, I think,
workshop
two
space?
times. Yeah, yeah, two times basics and two times masters. Plus, apart from that, some multiple workshops with you guys. Because first time when I did, part of my things were resolved. I would not say because my whole objective, and every time that barring maybe glass masters, but most of the time my objective was self work. Because till the time I am not resolving every little knot in within me, I cannot go and guide anyone else. That would be very theoretical, and I would say artificial. It would not be. So my objective had always been this only. So first time when I came, a part of it was resolved, but that was resolved there. I
Mm,
also had to see if how effective it is, how long lasting the effect would be, how
mm,
much work, repeated work I need to do, because nothing is like a magic wand. That
mm,
okay, fine,
yes.
someone. It's not like a magic, no. That you did some technique and or I did something with myself and it's gone. No, it does not happen. So then I realized I need to keep on working with it. I need to reinforce those things. Some I was able to do it myself. Some we had this lovely group. Every workshop I meet some wonderful people. We worked with them. And then I realized, okay, fine. Now it's a time, next time, I need to refresh. So every time that I came to you, it was something new that I was discovering about myself, something new that I was detangling in myself. And and then, of course, gradually, then I came to a point that I realized that, okay, fine, now I can offer some assistance to others,
Nice.
who are struggling with little small things they don't realize, and they are still not in that, uh, mental space to go attend such workshop. Because I'm a huge advocate of this. I keep on telling to people, but even if not, friends, family, then I also got into the social emotional learning space because that is one thing I realized. Oh my God, I keep on telling you again, please start something for teenagers, for
Mm,
children, because children need so much. Because, see, it starts from there only, If
absolutely.
things can be resolved, if children, as a child, I know how to assess, how to acknowledge and manage my emotion, I can. Language, my behavior, everything that NLP teaches. If as a child only I get to know these things, आगे जाके, I would not have those kind of problems. So yeah, the journey had been from self work to now. I know that yeah, I am capable of helping, and I have. There are people in my friends' family. I'm glad that I'm able to empower them. in their time in their difficult times.